Welcome to Northern Ireland. I'm visiting Derry, Portrush, Antrim, Causeway Coast, Sheehan Farms, Bushmills, and Benoni Beach. Derry is the second largest city in Northern Ireland and the fourth largest city on the island. This is a peace bridge in Derry, and it was designed with the country's future in mind. Welcome to GlobeTrotter. I'm here in Northern Ireland, and Northern Ireland is very special, so much to see. Behind me is a peace bridge. You know, there's so many activities that you can participate in, and also the coastline is fantastic, and so many colors of green. And let me not forget the food. The food is fantastic, so stay tuned. This canopy of trees is called dark hedges, and they're found in the county of Antrim in Northern Ireland. The dark hedges were used in the Game of Thrones television series. It's one of the most popular attractions in Northern Ireland. I asked one of the young ladies to hide in the opening in one of the trees. That was a terrific photo opportunity. The Sheehan Horse Farm is located in the North Antrim Hills. All right, on with you. Move on.
Yeah, they don't listen to you, John. It's the accent.
On with you. I mean, move on. Come on, move on. This isn't working. This isn't working.
You trying to get him to move?
Yeah. Onward.
Onward. Right, he understands more proper words.
Move onward.
Walk on, Merlin.
Walk on.
We can walk on. Walk on.
Oh, you see?
I was using the wrong words. This is the best day. The sun is out. It's Ireland. It's unbelievable. It's North Ireland, and I'm at the Sheehan Horse Farm, and I'm riding all over the greens, the pastures. The views are spectacular. Can I just go that way?
Yes, you can.
Oops.
There's the
Do that walk up the hill.
These beautiful, healthy, gentle horses ride the trails of the property up the hill. It's been the most wonderful experience being out in the country. Not something we get used to in the city. We don't have wild horses, we have wild act. It's coming. It's coming. Where are the glasses? It's coming.
There it is.
Oh, it's coming.
Does it mainstream for you, Peter?
Cheers. Cheers.
Looking good, John.
I'm dressing in a costume from the Game of Thrones TV series. Muy macho.
John, you would have been fearsome out in the field, man. If they would have seen you coming, they would have been like, what the? Whoa.
My blonde hair back.
It's not a wig, John.
Of course it is.
Whoa, Johnny. Look at him, man. Yeah, he's out of control.
I'm mean. I'm evil. I'm ready to fight.
Okay.
Off with your head. Off with your head. I'm ferocious. I'm fearless. So watch out. Get up, get out, and travel! We are going fishing on the Causeway Lass in Portrush.
Today is Causeway Sea Fishing Company. You're in very safe hands. Richard Connor here is our skipper, and he has been operating for 20 plus years. He started very young, very young. So he will keep you right today as we head out on the boat. Now, I'm not sure if you did get the memo, but this morning is all about catching breakfast. That is where your breakfast is.
I like how you get us working as cheap labour.
Exactly.
Feed Portrush.
But you know, obviously, no fish, no breakfast. You know, there's no here's one I prepared earlier kind of scenario here. So what's going to happen is we're going to be out in the boat till about 8:30, quarter to 9ish. See how we get on, and then we're going to bring our catch back. We're going to bring our catch back into Portrush, and then there's a chef waiting, and he's going to cook up your catch.
I am so inquisitive about how to fish, how to catch the fish, how to reel them in. As we pulled away from Portrush Harbor, the waves were rushing against each other. The captain told us if we didn't catch any fish, we don't eat. The seagulls are everywhere, and they're flying over us looking for food. I'm so happy to be on the water. There are many rock islands off the coast where seagulls and seals rest and play.
That's funny. Well, such hard work. If I had to do this at my dinner, I would quit. I would starve. That's funny.
The girls were very lucky as they reeled in a huge catch of fish, and we shared it at breakfast.
After you've been on the boat and all that, so we're just using the ginger. So we also have it in cold form, which is Belfast ginger ale, tonic water. We have it in the hot form, which is the Papa's mineral ginger wine, and we've just heated that at 1/5 cordial, some brown sugar, lemon, and hot water.
Very fresh. The fish.
Jon Haggins, the GlobeTrotter, is like no other travel book in the world. When I think of travel, I think of friends from around the world. I've traveled to Malaysia, Thailand, India, everywhere. You're going to absolutely love the book. And the recipes, you will whet your appetite with these incredible aromatic recipes. Remember, my world is your world. So get up, get out, and travel! The Downhill House is located in beautiful surroundings near Castle Rock in County Londonderry. It's perched dramatically on top of a cliff above the Atlantic Ocean. I had the most fun in the blow cart on the Benoni Beach. The blow cart is a sand yacht, which is hand-steered. I volunteered to be the guinea pig, and off I went as the sail propelled me at a rapid speed. I thought I was never going to stop. It was more fun than I could ever imagine. The hovercraft is more fun than you can imagine. It floats over grass, it floats over water, it twirls, it spins, it's absolutely magical. I am truly excited to be here in Bushmills. Is that right?
That's great.
How wonderful, with Jason Porter, and he owns this incredible helicopter service. Tell me the name of the service.
It's called Cutting Edge Helicopters.
Ah, and you know what's incredible is you can see everything from the sky. You know, all the different villages and all of the greenery, and you know, Ireland is known for its greenery.
It is, yes.
And this is Northern Ireland, and it's absolutely wonderful. We're standing on this beautiful green garden. Behind us is a river that runs. It's fresh water. It's just amazing. But what I saw from above was the water from the ocean was just amazing. The color, it was like a Caribbean. Amazing. So tell me about the helicopter.
The helicopters are Robinson R44, built in California. We've been operating them for some time here in Northern Ireland, and we do a lot of lovely tours up North Coast where you can see the Giant's Causeway, Carrick Rope Bridge, Bushmills. You can see the Ballantoy Harbour, Portrush, all this beautiful, spectacular sights along the coast. And as you say, the water is just so beautiful. It's the blues and greens and stuff like that, as well as the greenery in the fields and stuff. It's awesome.
It's like being in the Caribbean.
It is, yes.
But a little cooler.
Just cooler, yes, exactly.
But you know, it's wonderful. And what I love is the fact that you are really seeing it from above, and you see these villages and how beautifully they're all laid out, and the little beaches where people can go and relax.
Yes.
The water's a little cold, but that's okay. If you get used to it after a while. Wear a wetsuit, you know, and I think it's just, I love these villages. I love the people too. They're so friendly, you know, and that's what's so marvelous about Ireland. It's just absolutely amazing.
And the Guinness and the whiskey.
Oh, the whiskey, the best. It comes from here, and it's wonderful. How long have you been operating the helicopter service?
We've been doing it for about 11 years now, offering sightseeing tours. We do flight training as well, but basically the tours are very, very popular along the North Coast.
Of course. So much to see.
So much to see,
Yeah.
exactly.
And how long is the tour generally?
Basically, the tours start from 20 minutes up to 1 hour. So we do for a variety of different types of tours.
Right.
So 20 minutes, half an hour, or an hour tours. Or we can do
Fantastic.
bespoke tours, private tours.
Yeah. And people come from everywhere.
All over the world, America, Canada, Europe, everywhere. They come, and they come and just to see how beautiful it is from there.
And it is beautiful. You know, from above, looking down, we saw the location for the Game of Thrones. Tell me about that.
Yes, there's some lovely locations up towards the Carrick Rope Bridge. You've got the area down there. Also, Ballantoy, the famous scenes there of the harbour is beautiful, and it's just so spectacular to see it from there. Because on the ground, you just don't get the perspective of seeing it from the air.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Just amazing. And the movie, I mean, the whole production is filmed here.
Yes, it seems a lot of parts of the North Coast, and the Ballantoy area, the Ballantoy Harbour, seems to be the most popular. Everybody just wants to see it, you know, see the harbour and see the scenes and stuff, and the plaques where it actually shows you the scenes where it actually was filmed at that location.
Unbelievable. And it's actual location. It's not a set. It's
No.
not a Hollywood set.
Yes.
So that makes it wonderful.
Yeah.
And you know, the fact that they can really feel the destination when they see it on film, and then they come here and then share it with their family, their friends. I thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
I am so delighted that I had the experience of flying above the greenery.
Yeah.
It's marvelous. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming and experiencing it.
The cutting-edge helicopter flies over castles and stunning landscapes, and of course the Game of Thrones filming locations.
So tell us what you're doing.
Okay, I'm just drawing a lovely single malt whiskey out of one of our bourbon casks. See what you think. Lovely, smooth, nice and sweet.
Wow. Yeah, very, very nice. Very
Sláinte.
Yeah, let's toast again.
Sláinte.
Yes.
Good
So
help.
Introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Niall. I work for Bushmills Distillery. We're the oldest licensed working distillery in the world. We date ourselves from 1608 in the time of King James I. That's about the time Great Britain started sending people over to populate the States. We've been going from around that same time. So back in the 1600s, we were making spirit here. We've been doing it for, well, in 2019 we'll be 411 years old, so happy birthday to Bushmills. Bushmills is a lovely triple distilled Irish whiskey. So we start with malted barley, water from our own spring, and a little bit of yeast, and that's the only 3 ingredients that we have in the whiskey, John. So it's really simple to make, but making it of this quality is really, really difficult. So what we're going to do is we're going to mash the grain up. We're going to extract all those lovely sugars out of the barley, out of the malted barley, and then we're going to let it ferment. I'm going to let it ferment for about 60 hours. At the end of 60 hours, we're going to have a beer, basically, that is now about 8% alcohol by volume, or you would know it as 16 proof. So it's still very weak. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that liquid and we're going to distill it 3 times. That's very important. With every distillation, it's becoming smoother, it's becoming better, and it's becoming more refined. So
Is it more potent?
we will distill up to 84% or 160 proof. So yeah, so it does become stronger. Now we're going to dilute that down at the end of the 3rd distillation to around 62 or 63% to put into our wooden barrels. Now the barrels that are surrounding us now are from Tennessee and Kentucky. They've been seasoned with all those lovely bourbon flavours, and we're going to try and extract it out of the oak. And that's what's going into this glass here. So beautiful bourbon cask single malt, 10 years old at least.
Bushmill is a village on the north coast of County Antrim in Northern Ireland. Chasing Wild Ass. Oh, it's not what you're thinking. It's a narrative of my travel around the world. I have interspersed photos and aromatic recipes, which allows you to dream, discover, and rediscover these great destinations around the world. The title of the book came about while we were chasing jackasses in Kutch Wild Ass Sanctuary in Gujarat, India. And I thought that was a great title for the book. This is food for the soul. Not only does it allow you to dream, it's adventure, it's history, it's culinary, it's culture, with a sense of humor to spice it up. Chasing Wild Ass is a celebration of life. You have to live each day as if it's your last. Remember, my world is your world, so get up, get out, and travel! This is Derry, Ireland. It has had its share of unrest. There are many colorful murals on the Peace Wall that reflect that time. However, today it's a peaceful destination. The colorful murals are symbolic to the unrest in Northern Ireland. The Peace Walls were erected during the troubled times in Northern Ireland. I met a lovely lady from Kenya and we shared a laugh. Derry is on the River Foyle in Northern Ireland. It's also known for the intact 17th century wall that has 7 gates.
The interior of the bar represents what you would have had in rural Ireland going back to the 1800s and right through to the 1930s, 40s, even in some areas to the 50s and 60s. As you see, we have pig's head, we have dried hams and dried fish, and in this section we used to have a lot of groceries. The bar in rural Ireland in them days, it was the focus of the community. That and also the chapel, the place of worship. People lived in outlying areas and they would come in, not just for their provisions, obviously for the grocery side, but they come in to socialise with neighbours, and the bar became very important in rural Ireland. The way the bar is set up here is to reflect that there, and it's been set up this way a long time now. The bar is internationally renowned as one of the few places in the north that plays music, traditional Irish and folk music, every night of the week. You don't even get it in Belfast every night of the week, which is the largest city in the north. Again, the pints and the drinks that we serve are reflective of what the customers want. Obviously, you have Guinness, you have Carlsberg, you have Smilix, and we also have our own locally brewed beer, Paddy O'Donnell's. It's a lager, so it would be regarded as a good lager, like, you know, throughout the world, like, you know. So people, when they come to Ireland, they want to experience a pint of Guinness. If they've ever drank Guinness before or not, they still want to, you know, and that's from the old people right down to the young people and everybody in between. Everybody likes to have a pint of Guinness. I used to drink Guinness at one stage. I just found it wasn't my actually tipple. Not everybody in Ireland drinks Guinness. Everybody has different persuasions and what way they want to drink, you know. See the sashes here? These are black preceptory sashes. These are part of the Orange Order, but they're actually a bit more elite of the Orange Order.
Wow, what an experience at Peter O'Donnell Pub.
My name is Emer Carney and I am Head of Marketing at Titanic Belfast. So Titanic Belfast is one of the world's leading tourist attractions. We're located here in Titanic Quarter, exactly where RMS Titanic was built over 100 years ago. We opened in 2012 to mark the 100th anniversary of the sinking of the ship, and it has been a phenomenal success for tourism in Belfast since. So at this exact location is where thousands of men from Belfast built the world famous liners from Harland and Wolff, and Titanic was ship number 401. It had a very fateful maiden voyage, but we celebrate the success of what was achieved in Belfast all those years ago. The maiden voyage was a tragic situation, but what happened in Belfast wasn't tragic. Titanic was a world-class liner. It was one of the largest man-made moving objects in the world at the time, and we're very proud of that heritage in Belfast and in Northern Ireland. So Titanic Belfast is a visitor attraction. We want to immerse our visitors in the Titanic story, but not just about the fateful sinking, which the film really focuses on, but on everything else around that. So we look at what happened in Belfast over 100 years ago. Why was Titanic built here? All about the industrial heritage. We then go into the shipyard where visitors can get on a little ride, and it takes you through the journey of what the men would have done every day in the shipyard in Belfast. You get to see what life would have been like on board for the first, second and third class passengers, right through the maiden voyage, into the sinking, and right through to where Titanic is today. So you can really see what the ship is like on the seabed where she lies in the Atlantic Ocean. So it's a very immersive experience, and visitors love different parts of it. Some people love the history, some people love the romance of the story.
The Titanic ship sailed from Belfast in 1912 into that fatal night. The Titanic Hotel is a perfect stop to relax and reflect on your experience of Belfast.
My name's Billy. I live in Belfast. That's my black cab behind me here. Down the years, myself and the black cab would have trolled around the streets of Belfast looking for punters, picking them up. Similar to what you have in New York, you know, your yellow cabs in New York. But in Belfast, there was many different licenses for black cabs. You have people would maybe associate them with working out of some of the certain areas in Belfast. Like the start of the Troubles, the paramilitaries on both sides burnt out all the public transport, and they put cabs like this on the road to act as a taxi bus service. The drivers working in those areas would have had to pay so much a week in the Republican or the Loyalist side to actually operate in those areas. But myself, I worked in the public service industry. We were ordinary taxi drivers, same as what you say in New York or London. In the 80s and 90s, we did a lot of work with journalists, TV crews, that kind of business. Maybe there was something going on around the country, around the city, troubles occurring, and we'd usually get a TV crew or a couple of journalists jumping in the back there, said, take us to go and see what's going on somewhere, because I can always imagine newspapers maybe in Los Angeles or New York somewhere, and it's saying informed source in Belfast. What it probably meant was taxi driver or barman working in Belfast was telling them the story. So, you know, like fake news isn't anything new. So we also say just worked in the ordinary taxi business, but in Belfast up until 1998 it was a tourist wilderness. Nobody came here. Then we signed the peace agreement. People started to trickle in, and they're mostly backpackers. Now down the years we've bombarded people with our problems via the media. So people are naturally inquisitive, and they want to know, like, for instance, the origins of conflict. They want to know the mechanisms of conflict, and now hopefully the resolution of conflict. So we could stick a load of backpackers into the back of one of these, and maybe make up a wagon train, maybe 6 or 7 cabs, snaking our way across the city. And the reason we could do this was because we came from both sides of the community. We were Protestant and Catholic, whereas the black cabs in the There's many varied attractions in Belfast now. People used to say, you come to Belfast, what are you going to do on the likes of the Sunday morning? You're just going to wander about the city. But in the city, like on a Sunday morning, you get St George's Market, you can go and visit it. You can come here, you can come down to Titanic Belfast, you can go to the Game of Thrones tour. But one of the things I'd recommend you do is take a black cab tour around the city. Now what you'll find is all the drivers are locals. So they come from either the Loyalist area or they come from the Republican area, and they have experienced growing up in Belfast. So many of them grew up during the height of the Troubles here in the 1970s and 80s and 90s. So the stories you're going to be getting are the stories coming from those drivers who are from the area. They're telling their own stories.
This is one of the oldest signs that read, "No topless bathing. Ulster has suffered enough." The Peace Wall was erected during the Troubled times in Northern Ireland. There are many colourful murals expressing that time. The Mudless Club is a very special trendy restaurant in Belfast. It's where you can experience a 6-course wine pairing meal. Everyone is enjoying the tasting, wine pairing, and good company. The food is farm to table, and it's plated in a colorful presentation. You know, the chef told me that reservations are booked 3 months in advance. That's how popular the restaurant is. These busy chefs are preparing dishes for the evening. The 6-course wine pairing takes 2.5 hours, so you can relax and enjoy the experience. The dishes are prepared with care, and they are colorful and delicious. Every dish is plated with an appealing flair. The presentation whets your appetite, and you can't wait to get your teeth into each dish. I am truly enjoying this marvelous experience in Belfast. Now I'm thinking about how educational, historic, and divine this experience has been in Belfast.
You know, Northern Ireland is a very special place. It's magical. I mean, of course, these incredible colors of green and also the food. You can't forget the food and the history and the coastline and the activities. There's so much to do here. I love it. Remember, my world is your world. So get up, get out, and travel!
Hope to see you next week at another colorful destination. So long for now.